positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. Representing to the highest, to the fullest, and keeping it real and lacing you up. So it appears that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Mr. Bad Boy himself, had 2 of his homes raided today by Homeland Security, allegedly investigating sex trafficking charges. We don't know what the truth is to those stories until they go to court, but there are allegations of sex trafficking, and there's multiple lawsuits he's been hit with since all this has been going down, which you've seen it over the last, probably 6 to 12 months, with his ex-girlfriend Cassidy, with a bunch of other people saying that, you know, Diddy was involved in some really allegedly foul stuff, you know, involving sex, drugs, and other things. I've never met Puffy, never partied with him. You know, I'm seeing everything that you guys are seeing on social media, and you know, a lot of times they put stuff out there, you don't know what's true, what's not true. But what I can tell you is that a lot of you naive or starry-eyed individuals who want to get involved in the entertainment business, it is a very scandalous business, and these people have all the money and power, so the next thing that comes is sex. And a lot of times you'll be tested. And if you have a strong, say, family backing or faith-based background, you're not as easily to be pulled into the bullshit. So it's a lot harder for those people to climb as fast as those who are willing to sell themselves. And a lot of people are willing to sell themselves in Hollywood. For the women, it is the meetings at the hotels and what have you, after hours with the producers. For the men, it's a lot of homosexual activity, just keeping it 100. A lot of guys, that's why you don't hear them come forth, a lot of men, because they don't want it to be out there what they've had to do, what they've had to perform to get to where they're at. I'm not saying every guy, but you know, there's always talks, and if you've been around people, producers and stuff, you've heard stories, rumors, and different things in the Hollywood scene. I mean, to my extent, you know, I just did a few commercials here and there, worked in the adult entertainment industry, but I've seen how they were exploiting people on just the little stuff. So I can only imagine when you're talking about getting $1 million checks, and you know, some of these people can't remember their lines. They're not as talented as, you know, they lead themselves to believe. It's a lot of ego. A lot of times there's a lot of trade-offs. There's a lot of other things going on. And it's just the nature of that animal. So, you know, you got to go in. Hopefully, if you got a little bit of street smarts, you're not as quick to jump. But shit, you know, for a straight guy to get turned out and get his cheeks busted, hey, man, that's a grand prize for them. You know, for some wholesome female to come out there and she's, you know, square, and they can turn her out, that's a big thing. That's why you see a lot of these people getting caught up in drugs, become alcoholics, they're depressed. You're thinking, like, why would somebody that wealthy with access to so much be miserable? You can see it. It's like, yeah, they'll smile and act like at these press conferences they're enjoying themselves, but yeah, I know people who've worked at some of these rehabs, and I've been to some of these rehabs that are high end, and it's like, man, what are you tripping off of? I've been to prison, I've been to juvenile hall, I've been in lockdown situations, and I've never got out and wanted to just do drugs till I pass out, or drink until I, puke on myself, or, just not want to live. So for you to have a 5,000, 8,000 square foot house, all the cars, money, you could travel, and you're still miserable, there's something deeper rooted in what's going on and why you have so many people in that world who they're troubled. These people, they seem to have something very dark in their past. And, for a lot of the guys, like I said, it'd be a test, and for the women, there's going to be, people doing this and people doing that, and they'll see how you respond. Or, there's going to be a party and a couple of guys can be there, but, behind closed doors, they're bisexual. Are you cool with that? And, if you say you're cool with it, then they'll invite you, which means that you might be cool with it. Maybe you'll get down with it, but you could be straight on the public side, but on the private side, you're bisexual, whatever. And I don't care what a person's sexuality is, but a lot of times what's going on is that somebody's probably filming that shit. And they're filming it because if they need you to take a role or to do something and you don't want to do it, well, they got something on your ass. So you might be thinking, oh man, I'm just over here hanging out. I'm not, doing what they're doing in that room, and I'm not doing what they're doing in that room. And then you hook up maybe with some female, you think, wow, you pass out. You wake up, you feel like you've been hit upside the head. You don't know what happened when you passed out. You look, the time, hours have passed. That's how it goes down. I know females who have been drugged. I've talked to guys who have been drugged, and you get offered something and you thinking, oh man, it's sealed. Man, look, they got rape kits. These people have stuff already pre-drugged and they know where to grab it in the refrigerator and they'll give it to you. And they have no problems having sex with somebody who's passed out. I'm not saying this is what Puffy did. I'm just telling you that I know that this goes on because I've talked to people who have been to parties and they drink stuff or went out on dates and they seen the person open up the drink and it was something in there that knocked them out and they woke up and they have been sexually assaulted. So, you just got to be careful and just look at what you think is such a cool and, you're going and hanging out with all this stuff, man. And a lot of these people you look up to, and when you see what they're doing, you're like, wow, this shit, this is beyond what I signed up for. A lot of times, I would get asked, Big Herc, man, you smoke weed? Nah. Oh man, you mess with that? I said, nah, man. Nah? That's right, you a workout dude. You like to work out all the time, huh? You like to work out and you drink protein and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, that's my thing. Okay, I respect the game. All right, Big Herc. And so there would be things going on, parties and stuff like that, but I wouldn't get the invite. And the reason I heard about the parties was because I knew a lot of females, and they would tell me, oh, we went to so-and-so's house last night. And I was like, I was over there the other day. Like, yeah, shit, we got over there about midnight. It was going down. We were doing this, we were doing that, and he was doing this. And, what happened was they didn't feel comfortable having me around, so I wouldn't get that after hour invite, which, I'm not mad at it now, but I just realized that there's always two sides, and people, you think you know them, you don't really know them that well. You might hang out with them during the day. Maybe you guys go to acting classes together and blah, 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 but there's a darker side, and that entails hanging out with people and seeing how far they can push the line with you. And that's how they determine who they're going to allow to go to the next step and who they're not going to allow. And they're all different steps, different levels to this shit. And, those different levels, yeah, they might have some financial benefits, but there's also maybe some moral and maybe some personal things you're going to have to put aside if you want to advance. And that's something you got to, say, hey, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to sacrifice yourself at that level? I wasn't willing to do it. And like I said, even at the level I was at, which wasn't no major level, I wasn't in no major movie, had a couple little commercial parts and some other stuff. And I just seen that it was a lot of games that you had to participate in and hoops you had to jump through. And I just wasn't willing to do it. I was more of a street dude. So I would revert back to some other shit. And, once I realized what the game was, I'm like, well, shit, I'd rather be on a more creative side. So that's why I got into writing and, publishing my own books and doing stuff like that, because trying to be an actor or somebody that's appeasing to the camera and getting in favor with these people, they might require me to do something I'm not willing to do. I'm not, I don't need to have my cheeks busted to get a role, or I don't need to do a line of blow to, be able to have a threesome with some chicks, or, I don't want to be, smoking weed just to fit in and seem like I'm in the cool crowd, because that's just not who I am. I'm not a drinker, so I'm not gonna be up in here drinking just to be drinking. Not knocking those who do, that's your business, but it's not mine, So there are things, and what they always look for is what is it you don't do that they can get you to do, and they will try it. So you don't drink? Well, let's see if we can get them to drink. You don't do blow? Well, let's see if I can get them to do blow. You're not, bisexual? Well, let's see if we have a girl there and, while you're playing with her, this guy tugs on your nutsack, you don't move, you giggle. These are the games they play, man. This shit, and you're hanging out and you're with, people who you think, oh man, I'm doing all this stuff with celebrities and they're doing it. So you think it's, the way in, and then you realize that they do this with everybody, and you let somebody tug on your ball sack and you didn't get the role. You didn't get to get that hook from that celebrity rapper, and you let yourself be touched where you didn't want to be touched because you want to feel special, and you're no more special than the person who came the night before who got touched. So, hey man, don't compromise yourself for the bullshit. Stand by some morals and values, and we're gonna see what unfolds with these puffy allegations, man. The tapes is where it's gonna all be, decided at. 'Cause who knows who's been recorded at these mansion parties, and I know it goes down. I know. I've seen people with, little cameras. They go up in there and take the cell phones. There's all kind of little camera stuff, man, that you can utilize. I remember I used to cover my ass. I used to have a camera and a pen. You wouldn't even know it. I'd be sitting there I got a cam filming everything, because you're not going to get me caught up. I was doing the same James Bond shit they was doing. So I know the shit goes down, and it's just a matter of, somebody got pissed off, and it's time for somebody to fall, because this is a distraction for something that's going to come even bigger, because a lot of these people are participating in the same sex trafficking shenanigans. So BigHerc916, go to my website, BigHerc916.com, pick you up some merch. Never settle for average. Grab you a bar of soap, wash your ass, and man, look, don't let them bust your cheeks at that party for that role, man. Don't let them bust your cheeks at that party for that role. Keep your integrity. Women, stand by something. Don't catch a bunch of bodies for a bag and then turn around and feel bad after you done been exploited.
Are you tired of smelling funky? Have you lost your ass? Go to BigHerc916.com.
Officially, I only got one real spanking my entire life. My mom did the best a 14-year-old could do, raising me with love and instilling values that will last a lifetime. I was a straight A student and lived to make her happy. So how did I go astray? A horrible stepdad that stole my self-worth and invoked fear turned me into a person that I struggled to overcome. From skateboarding to selling drugs, gang banging in juvenile hall, I got caught the same way many young promising men get caught up. I struggled to find my identity, getting mixed up in shootouts, crime, and the adult entertainment industry. This roller coaster continued as I juggled college, hustling, and Hollywood, eventually catching a federal bank robbery case. I found redemption in prison while serving a 120-month federal sentence and came out a man on a mission. I became a social media influencer with over 500 million views on YouTube and a life coach mentoring people all over the world. This is my journey against all odds.